Vishnu Sahasranamam. Where and when started Vishnu Sahasranamam? Explanation for all Guru power. Author's objective: Dear devotees, I am going to write Vishnu Sahasranamam in this post, which is one of the most effective remedies for almost all the problems of life. I would say that Vishnu Sahasranamam is a miraculous remedy for any and every problem of life. I tried to find the English and Hindi meanings of 1000 names of Lord Vishnu. It is necessary because when you are reciting the names, you should know the meaning, and then only you can have the inner feeling and devotion. It is quite long and it took me a long time and lot of effort to create this post. It may still have some small errors in it, and I apologize for those mistakes, and I will post the part and part every week video. The thanks for your devotee support. When and where the start in Vishnu Sahasranamam? Why we are chanting for Vishnu Sahasranamam? What are the benefits for Vishnu Sahasranamam? Those who chant these names daily are blessed by good luck and fortune. It helps in relieving one from fears and worries. It protects one from evil energies as well as enemies, and you will get positive inner flies. All obstacles and problems are removed, and it brings one closer, O Lord Vishnu, and all the sins are absolved. One gets released from the birth and death cycle and gets moksha. All wishes are fulfilled, etc. are all benefits. Give you an idea on the vast variety of subjects covered in Vishnu Sahasranamam: astrology, evolution, science, Ayurveda, yoga, physics, sounds, just to few names. One small video for each of the 108 shlokas. As you can, I learned the shlokas and it means own time and place. Sanskrit is hymn, which contains a list of 1000 names of Vishnu, one of the main deities in Hinduism and the supreme god in Vaishnavism. Sahasranamam facts names. Sahasra means 1000, Nama means name. It means that refers to the 1000 name of the Lord, but there is more to us. We will review from the shloka. It is said that one of the easiest ways to pray and pay respect to the Lord is by reciting mantras, stotras. It is an integral part of Sri Mahabharata composed by sage Ved Vyas. It was narrated by Bhishma to Yudhishthir. Bhishma lived over several years. During his lifetime, he had met several rishis and sagas and asked them of their favorite name for the Vedas in the Hinduism. The life and work of Maharshi Vyas, perhaps the greatest sage of Hindu religion. He wrote the 18 Purans and epic Mahabharata. The term Ved means knowledge. The source of all knowledge is God. The rishis heard with a mind made one pointed by meditation. The knowledge that issued from God in the form of sound. They imparted that knowledge to their disciples. Thus the internal truths that emerge from the Supreme and which the rishis perceived are what we mean by the Vedas. As the rishis had heard these truths and had imparted the knowledge to their disciples through words, the Vedas are known as Shruti. The rishis who perceived the mantras are known as mantra drashtas. Vedas are the experience of the rishi who realized the supreme truth. Most concepts for learning just by listening and were later written in a physical book called Veda in Hinduism. Sage Ved Vyas made from them into 4 Vedas for the benefit of mankind. There are Rigved, Yajurved, Samved and Atharvana. In the first there comes an auspicious scripture preferred as Bharat Panchamo Veda. It is the epic Mahabharata. When Mahabharata, there are again 5 Ratnas or gems. They are called Pancha Ratnas because of their spiritual teachings. They are Vidhuraniti, Yaksha Prashnam, Sanat Sujyadhyam, Bhagavad Gita and Sri Vishnu Sahasranamam. Pancha Ratnas of Mahabharata, Vidhuraniti. The sage Mandava cursed Yama that he would be born as a maid on forgetting him impaled without a valid reason. He was born in the mortal world as Vidura. Vidura was born through Niyoga between sage Vyasa and Parishrami, a handmaiden to the queens Ambika and Ambalika. When the queens were scared of Vyasa as he was not handsome, they sent their maiden in their place. The queens were wives of King Vichitravirya, the grandfather to Kauravas and Pandavas and the father of Dhritarashtra and Pandu. Bearing Krishna, Vidura was most respected as an advisor by the Pandavas, whom he forewarned on the various occasions of Duryodhana's plots to exterminate them, such as Duryodhana's plan to burn them alive in the house of wax. Vidura outlines things wise people and leaders should do and things they should not. Collectively, these are known as Viduraniti. He should wish for the prosperity of all and should never set heart on inflicting misery on any group. He should pay attention to those who have fallen in distress and adversity. He should not ignore persistent sufferings of those that depend on him, even if the suffering is small. He should show compassion to all creatures, do what is good for all creatures rather than a select few. He should never impede the development and growth of agriculture and economic activity by anyone. He should always be prepared to protect those that depend on him for their safety and security. He should be fair and accessible to his people. By means of virtue should he attain success. By means of virtue should be sustain it. He should consider the welfare of his people as his personal responsibility. He should encourage learning and transmission of knowledge. He should encourage profit and virtue. Prosperity depends on good deeds. Good deeds depend on prosperity. He should avoid friendship with the sinful. He should never misuse wealth, use harsh speech, nor inflict extreme or cruel punishments. He should only appoint those as ministers, senior positions in his staff, whom he has examined well for their history of virtue, dispositions, activity, and whether they give others their due. Yaksha Prashnam, the story of Yaksha Prashna. The Pandavas searches for the deer. After going a while, they find the deer. They try to catch it, but the deer disappears. They are very tired on finding the deer. They take rest under the tree. They get very thirsty. Dharmaraja sends Nakula for water. While going, Nakula finds a lake. He feels very happy on seeing the lake and also thought that he wants to quench his thirst first. He is ready to drink water. At that time, he hears a voice, "Oh Nakula, don't drink water. First you have to answer my questions. After you can drink water." He doesn't listen the words and drinks water. Then he falls down and dies. Dharmaja is waiting for Nakula, but he does not come. So he sends Sahadeva, Bhima and Arjuna. They also don't listen to the warning and drink water like Nakula and fall down at the bank of the lake. Yaksha questions to Yudhishthira. Dharmaraja goes to that place. He sees his 4 brothers lying on the ground. Dharmaraja also listens the same voice. Yaksha says, "Your brother didn't listen my words. That's why they died. If you want to drink water, you have to answer my questions. First drink water." Then Dharmaraja replied that he is ready to face the questions. Yaksha Prashnam Yudhishthir Uttar. Sun God. Who makes the sun rise? The Brahmin. Who keeps the sun company? Gods. Who causes the sun to set? Dharma. Answer in who is the sun established? Truth. Learning intelligence. What does one become learned? By Shruti. How one acquires something very great? By ascetics, austerities. It means tapas. In this way, Yaksha asked so many questions. Yudhishthir had answered all questions in a satisfactory manner, but the Yaksha only allowed him to choose one of his brothers to be restored to life. Yudhishthir chose his younger half-brother Nakula, the son of his stepmother Madri, reasoning that his own mother Kunti had a living son regardless, but his stepmother Madri did not. The Yaksh was impressed by how Yudhishthira followed Dharma. In every little thing he did, Yaksha revealed himself to be Yama Dharma, the god of death, who was also Yudhishthira's father. He revealed that it was he who had disguised himself as a deer and stolen the arani. He blessed Yudhishthira, telling him that since he had adhered to Dharma, that Dharma would protect the Pandavas and no one would recognize them during the Agyatavasa. All of the Pandavas were restored to life. Sanat Sujyadhyam. The Sanat Sujatya refers to a portion of the Mahabharata, a Hindu epic. It appears in the Udyoga Parva and is composed of 5 chapters, Adhyay 41 to 46. One reason for the Sanat Sujatya's importance is that it was commented upon by Adi Shankara, the preeminent expositor of Advaita Vedanta and one of the most important Hindu sages, philosophers and mystics. The Sanata Sujatya should probably be best approached as a brief late Upanishadic text and very early attracted to itself by way of appendix commentary and continuation. Other texts that were considered to be of the same inspiration. Its core seems to be the Tishbu verses of the beginning, in which the problem of death is addressed. This is followed in shlokas by reflections of Brahmin and wisdom on the 12 vices and 12 virtues, and in Brahmacharya it ends with the mystical hymn on the manifestation of the Supreme, with the refrain, the yogis behold the sempiternal blessed Lord. Bhagavad Gita. The Srimad Bhagavad Gita, often referred to as the Gita, is a 700-verse Hindu scripture that is part of the epic Mahabharata. Dated to the second half of the first millennium BCE and is typical of the Hindu synthesis. It is considered to be one of the holy scriptures for Hinduism. The Bhagavad Gita is the best known and most famous of Hindu texts with a unique pan-Hindu influence Hinduism. Sri Vishnu Sahasranamam. It is considered Vishnu Sahasranamam a bit special than the others because it is part of the great epic Mahabharata. The story goes like this. Yudhishthira, the king of Dharma, when he himself was confused about the biggest Dharma to follow in life, Krishna did not answer him as he did to Arjuna in Kurukshetra. Krishna did not impart the knowledge of Gita to Yudhishthira as he did for Arjuna when the latter was confused about whether to fight against his own relatives or not. Instead, Krishna took Yudhishthira to the great warrior Bhishma to clarify his doubts. Bhishma was actually in his arrow bed when Krishna brought Yudhishthira to ask Bhishma the following 6 questions. Kim ekam devatam loke? Who is the greatest lord in the world? Pavitram pavitram yo mangalanam cha mangalam devatam devtanam cha bhutanam yo avyaya pitaha. He who is the very sanctity that sacrifices all sacred things. He is the most auspicious. He who is the god of goddess. He who is the eternal father of all creatures in the one God, Lord Vishnu. Kim vapyekam parayanam. Who is the one refugee for all? Paramamyo mahata teja, paramamyo mahata tapa, paramamyo mahata brahma, paramamyo parayanam. He is the great effulgence. He who is the great controller. He who is the supreme, all pervading truth. He who is the highest goal, Lord Vishnu. Stuvanta kam prapniyo. By glorifying, who can man reach the auspiciousness? Jagat Prabham Deva Devam Anatham Purushottam Sthavan Namaha Sahasrena Purushah Stotata. The Purushottam or the Supreme Purusha, who is the Lord of the world and endless, Lord Vishnu. Kam Archataha Prapniyuha Manva Shubham. By worshipping whom can man reach auspiciousness? Tvamev cha archayan nityam bhakta purusham avyayam sthuvan nama sahasrana purushas sthalotitha. By worshipping and meditating him, man can reach true auspiciousness. Kam archataha prapniyo manva shubham ko dharma sarvaha dharmana bhavata parmo. What is the greatest dharma? Kim ja muchyate jantu janma sansaraha bandhanat. By doing jap of whom can creatures go beyond the bonds of samsara. Anadi Nidhanam Vishnu Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Lokadhyaksha Stuvan Nityam Sarva Dukhitoko Bhavet. The greatest Dharma is Vishnu, who has neither a beginning nor an end, the Supreme Lord of the world. He who daily chants the Sahasranamam and glorifies the knower of the world goes beyond the bondings of the samsara and all sorrows. Purva Pitika also has many other shlokas which glorify Lord Vishnu. Bhishma Pitamaha says, chant the 1,000 names of Lord Krishna with devotion. This does not require any effort other than the willingness to chant. This is the best way to get relief from all miseries, sorrows and sins. Keshavs and Namas. One name is fits in all four categories. Keshava. Ka is Brahma, Sha is Rudra and Va is controller. Keshava is the Swarupa Nama that talks about the eternal truth and controlling all aspects of life. Keshava talks about Rupa Nama. Kesam head talks about charming aspects. Pundarikaksha means lotus-eyed or Megha Shama cloud-like body. Kesha Nashanaha, one who kills miseries, hence Guna Nama or quality like Vatsala, Sushila, Udra and Sulabha. Keshi was the last Asura sent by Karma that the Lord killed so past time. Chetita Nama, one who is known through a mind which is purified Udhara by means of self-control.